Yes, my Straight Talk family, you've been waiting and waiting too long, and I must apologize for that because, when things can go wrong, they do go wrong. And I was challenged whether I should just come to you without you seeing this handsome face. I know it's ugly face for some. But I want to apologize. We had a technical glitch here with our cameras, and we said, no, we need to communicate as we normally do. So forgive me, my Straight Dog family, and we do apologize for, again, a late start, and I do wish you a very pleasant night, morning, afternoon, whichever is applicable to the region in which you now find yourselves, and in particular to the St. Kitts and Nevis and the Eastern Caribbean region. A very pleasant night to all of you. And greetings, we can say, to our Straight Talk family all around the world, because the Kittian and Nevision and Caribbean diaspora can be found all across the globe. Some of you in Africa, there's some of you in Asia, there's some of you in Europe, and there are a whole lot of you all over North America. So I'm at liberty to say good night. I will say good morning, and I can also say good afternoon, because one of such greetings will be applicable to the region in which you now find yourselves. And we do again apologize for this tardy start, which was due to a technical glitch we were having here in our studios. But welcome, one and all, to another edition of Straight Talk. And for the first timers, we say welcome, and trust and hope it won't be your last time. And we thank all those who continue to share the link, because you bring first timers. And for the first timers, we want to inform you that Straight Talk is a public service program that facilitates and promotes free expression on all issues of national interest, be they legal, be they environmental, be they technological, social, economic, and or political issues. On Straight Talk, we do have a forum to express yourselves freely. On this program, we nonetheless try to raise the level of national consciousness. We try to raise the level of national discourse by alerting our people to their rights, to their responsibilities, and certainly to their obligations. My name is Ian Patches Liburd, and I give Almighty God thanks for blessing me with yet another opportunity to join you in conversation on yet another occasion. As your host, I will hasten to pledge to remain an untiring advocate of truthfulness, as I'm always reminded of these words. I can't go without these words. This excerpt from a hymn written by Thomas Jackson and Franz Joseph Haydn, which goes like this: we are called to be God's prophets, speaking for the truth and right, standing firm for godly justice, bringing evil things to light. So let us seek the courage needed, our high calling to fulfill, that we all may know the blessing of the doing of God's will. So my Straight Talk family, absolutely nothing, and this is for the first timers in particular, absolutely nothing is watered down on this program. We are not about making it more interesting, neither by omission nor by exaggeration. We are not about sensationalism or creating excitement, especially at the expense of accuracy. So what we do is we lean on the facts, because it's my duty to present the unvarnished truth, the plain truth, especially when it comes to governance in our lovely federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. And we try to bring each other together. The program joins us together with people across our federation. Through this program, we are joined with people in the diaspora all around the world. And some we know, some we do not know, some we have met, and some we may never ever meet. And some of us will agree, of course, with the positions of truth we advance on Straight Talk. And some will disagree. And that's fine, because we promote and we anticipate there's a diversity of people, and so there will be a diversity of our views. But please, what will sadden me, my Straight Talk family, is if we ever start to become disagreeable. And that's what I see happening in our country. But in the meantime, let's thank Almighty God, nonetheless, for helping us to understand, because we all understand how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity. We were together in unity, and oh, what a wonderful land we had. Land of milk and honey. Land of peace. And the land where everybody had hope. We kept hope alive. Our leadership kept hope alive. So let us therefore pray for the day when we will all sing his praise together. So welcome again, my Straight Talk family. And for the first time again, I want to just inform you that Straight Talk is a participative program. By that I mean we include your calls and your emails. And if you're so minded to call, the numbers are on your monitors, on your screens. And if you, as I say, like the cloak of anonymity, because people are afraid to talk in this country. I don't know why. People are afraid to talk, and we have to go past that. As long as you're talking the truth, talk the truth. Only the truth can set you free. And for those who like the cloak of anonymity, I was going to say, our email platform is accessible to you. The address is straighttalkpatches@gmail.com. And I cannot forget my Junior Brigade, the Straight Talk Junior Brigade, yes. I understand that Tristan is on vacation somewhere off island. You know, our days when we were growing up, when we had vacation, we go to Nevis, go across the Narrows. Nowadays, young children go to England, to Europe, to North America, all over the world, and that's good. Signs of progress, no doubt. Young Dwayne, Tristan, Shama, Kevin, Rue, Travis, Travon, Jamal, and of course the special lady in St. Louis. Tonight we have titled our thesis. We do have our observations in review, which I will limit tonight because of the fact that we started late. And we normally go into our short dissertation or thesis. And tonight I have titled my thesis, Blood of 9-Year-Old on Somebody's Hands. So don't change that link, my Straight Talk family. It's meant to be interesting. And our observation in review, the time when we reflect on some things we had raised, some questions were asked, and some people give me homework too. But for tonight, I just wanted to remind us all. I wanted to speak about the NHC, that's the National Housing Corporation. I'm told they called a meeting of the West Street tenants sometime last week, I think it is, or was, to advise them that come the end of December 2024, their rent will no longer be paid by the corporation. Yes, you heard me right. And I'm going to spend some time, God's willing, on Monday, because when we embarked on constructing those lovely condo apartments on Wellington Road and West Street, we intended was the second phase. You know, we started to demolish these CHA houses or CHA buildings on Wellington Road, and we had to relocate the tenants. But that's for Monday. We'll go more into it, but I understand that they have called a meeting, some of the meeting of the tenants who have not been but the second phase has not advanced because nothing happens under this administration, the July administration. But we will give you some more information come Monday, God's willing. Very interesting, but as I said, the NHC Corporation have told the tenants who they have relocated, having demolished the buildings, that they will have to fend their own way come December. What a time to put people literally on the street. Because where these people going to find money, only heaven knows, my street dog family. But we'll come to that next week, Monday. And we're still following that issue of water quality. Because remember sometime the quality supervisor informed us that they in fact tested the water and sent the information to the Bureau of Standards, and that's some weeks ago. We have not heard what were or are the findings of the Bureau of Standards. We are also hearing some things unofficially about the quality of water in some other wells. We understand that several wells were tested. Don't know the reason why, but we are following that Keon Cabbage Tree well, I call it, with some interest, because people are complaining that when they shower, their eyes are burning, and there's a taste of the water which tells us there's some saline or salt intrusion. And remember, Guinevere told us this some weeks ago, and he has not come back, or the Water Services Department have not come back to the public so we can know what is the disposition, what is the state, the quality of the water over there in Keon in particular. We understand in some other areas there are issues with water quality. But we are calling on the Water Services Department, my dear friend, my good friend, a professional in his own right, and trained hydrogeologist, Cromwell Williams. I know you are straightforward, so let the public know what's happening.
If most persons will be concerned with the cabbage well, we have had persons on the media or Facebook going around saying the water content is, for instance, salty, but up to last week, I personally went and did a test and matching prior results, because some of it is tests have been done over a period of time and the results are matching those that we had before. But to be on the safe side, just a week ago, the manager also instructed to get the lab involved, and we went and we took some samples, so we're still awaiting the results for those samples. But we're doing everything in our powers to monitor and make sure that whatever water is come or sent to the homes is up to standard. And that's it.
Well, that's an obligation of the Water Services Department, not just to standards, but to World Health Organization, PAHO standards as well, my straight dog family. So weeks have passed. So don't you think that Straight Talk would just turn a blind eye and a deaf ear and not defend the people of St. Kitts and Nevis? So Water Services Department, we are hoping to hear from you. And on a very not a good note, my Straight Dog family, I want to bring your attention to Constantine Lord Black Cons Edwards, the Buffalo Soldier, we call him. He's been missing now for some time, and as a public service announcement, I want to inform all the listeners that there's a cons search party scheduled for Saturday, 10th August, that's Saturday coming, starting at 5 a.m. from the lawn in front of the Chinese Imagine that, a lawn in front of the Chinese, that's perhaps a shop or a supermarket. The Chinese are all over the country. But it says from the lawn in front of the Chinese at Saddles Village, a search party will be launched at 5 a.m. on Saturday coming. We trust and hope that there will be some positive results, because Lord Black, an icon in his own right, did so much for us in this country from a media, music perspective, and we trust and hope he is all right, but he's been missing for some time now, my Straight Dog family, and that's not a good sign. So those are my observations in review for tonight, and I'll move right into my thesis, which I said I have titled Blood of 9-Year-Old on Somebody's Hands. And my Straight Dog family, 2 days ago, a very good friend of mine called me and asked me if Prime Minister July is now taking the advice from his national security advisor, Lionel O.C. Rollins. I found the question a little bit confusing, and I asked my friend, what you mean? Then he said, man, Patches, you played this soundbite many times on Straight Talk. And my Straight Talk family, I was still confused until my friend explained to me that I played this soundbite with the advice from National Security Advisor O.C. Rollins, and he said this. Remember this, my Straight Talk family.
If you know that you're involved in the murder of someone, I would encourage you to borrow some money, buy an airline ticket, and leave the island. Because it's going to cause us problems. That's as bluntly as I could say.
And my Straight Talk family, I still was a little confused when he asked me if Dr. Joe took the advice of O.C. Rollins. But then my friend said, Dr. July don't have to borrow no money from the bank, you know, because the treasury will pay whenever he leaves the country. But with all those murders over the last weekend, and especially the brutal assassination of young Jamani Smitten of Nevis, or from Nevis, my friend raised his voice in anger and shouted, and I quote, "The blood of this 9-year-old is on somebody's hands, and I wonder if it is not on the hands of Prime Minister Dr. July." That's what my friend said. And I asked him, why are you making such a bold statement? I asked my friend, who then continued, "Well, Patches, you ain't see this stupid letter July write to the country?" And he showed me this, my Straight Dog family. My friend showed me this, which he referred to as a letter. It was really a press release he referred to as a letter, which reads, my Straight Dog family, that the Prime Minister, or from the Prime Minister's office, said the Prime Minister is on personal leave from the 7th of August to the 25th of August. I then understood what my friend was saying, or was trying to say, in that there were 7 murders over the weekend, 62 murders or 63 murders over the past 2 years. Among the 7 murdered was a 9-year-old little boy from Nevis, slaughtered, and not one word from an uncaring crime minister who just ran away, absconded, And that's why my friend asked if all of a sudden he was taking the advice of his national security advisor. Remember what he said again.
If you know that you're involved in the murder of someone, I would encourage you to borrow some money, buy an airline ticket, and leave the island. Because it's going to cause us problems. That's as bluntly as I could say.
So with all these murders, the Prime Minister didn't have to borrow no money. But he's left the island. That's the point my friend was making to me. He ran away. But little that Dr. July knows, that if you run from a problem, it is never solved. There are issues of crime and safety and the economy, and the list goes on. And you are running away from these problems. But my straight dog family, unless July is stone deaf and lacking humanity as the current leader of the Labour Party and Prime Minister, who also has responsibility for crime, so he is also the Crime Minister. And as Crime Minister, he must recognize the backlash with respect to murders that have come even from his own base. When it comes to dealing with crime, or in fact dealing with most issues, St. Kitts Nevis Prime Minister July appears to be academically challenged. He's not just challenged with the CBI, he's challenged with the economy, with housing, agriculture, just about everything. And I agree with the peace boy, this Rasta man, when he said that July is functionally dunce. Academically challenged, I hear you ask. And I have not come to that conclusion lightly, as it took me the most part of his tenure as Prime Minister thus far. And very early in his term, I gave him the benefit of the doubt on many occasions. But after 2 years, he continued to politic instead of governing the country. Our country is so divided because of the gutter politics, the politics of victimization. And even after coming out of a political campaign 2 long years ago, Dr. July is still preaching the politics of get rid of them. Get rid of them. That's the politics he's preaching. That was their mantra and still is their mantra today, as they got rid of an administration and most of their supporters. Now, their bad policies and their bad decisions since assuming office are getting rid of our fathers, our mothers, our brothers and sisters, and now they are getting rid of our young children. My straight dog family, you and I heard this guy who I know very well, and he surprised us with the nonsense he was talking about, how the government dealt with gangs in El Salvador. And I heard July just a few days ago on an exclusive interview, referring as well and quite often to El Salvador and these gangs. But this guy who we know very well, he never introduced himself. So I'm not going to introduce him. Well, he said this, my straight dog family.
The Prime Minister said in his speech, suppression, and I say eradication, whatever it takes. Malcolm X said when they were fighting for their rights, the black people in America, said by any means necessary. You know, we like to quote Malcolm X when we think by any means necessary. I think he said whether by the ballot or by the bullet.
Imagine that, my straight dog family. This is what Joe is now trying to preach through his surrogates extrajudicial killing. We are in a civilized society, or we are supposed to be. And my straight talk family, you know, it is said that politics is war without bloodshed. And history shows that there are two kinds of wars, the just and the unjust war. And my straight talk family, from the moment July assumed the role of Prime Minister, he started an unjust war against all he considered supporters of Team Unity, and in particular supporters of Timothy Harris. How many of us remember my straight dog family? His very first act he performed as Prime Minister, his very first unjust act, I should qualify that, my straight dog family, very first, was to give a celebrated son of this soil, Sir S.W. Tapley Seaton, may his soul rest in peace, but his first order of business, having been sworn in by the same Governor General, he gave him his marching orders. That was his first order of business as Prime Minister. Gave Sir Tapley, a celebrated son of this soil, his marching orders. Because July came to the office with a vendetta against the Team Unity administration and had to settle a score, according to him, with how he perceived that Sir Edmund Lawrence was treated. It was therefore a tit-for-tat situation that he brought to bear my straight dog family. And we always provide you the facts, because he brought this tit-for-tat mentality into his office.
As it relates to the Governor General, questions have been raised on social media as to the former Governor General. Was he asked to resign, or did he resign on his own? Can you comment on that?
Well, if you go back and you see how Sir Edmund was treated, Sir Edmund Lawrence, the disrespect with which he was treated, basically kicked out of the place, had no privileges after he left. He was not even included in an official protocol list. And when I went to visit the former Governor General, Sir Tapley, he and I had a discussion, and I asked him, how do you want to leave the office? He gave me a timeline. I respected the timeline. And so he said to me he wanted his time would be up to the end of December, because he wanted to put things in place and so forth. I said, fine. And I went back to see him again, and he said, PM, I need some more time. I said, no problem. And I gave him until the end of January.
Imagine that, my straight dog family. So Tapley, a celebrated son of this soil. So Tapley would have helped Drew and would have given him advice in how to run the country and run it properly. But my straight dog family, I am certain, so Tapley, I am certain, would have never anticipated such treatment and must have gone to his grave a sad man. But he was a man of peace and loved his God. I know that. So you all came up in the Moravian church. But petitions and divisions now have a July fatigue, which has derived from the political victimization, the hate, and the division he developed from the beginning of his tenure as Prime Minister. The deep division he promoted caused people to get tired very quickly of him. For most of the 7 years of team unity, the people lived as one family. Money was in everybody's pocket. The elimination of VAT on food gave back 17 cents on every dollar we spent, whether at Rams, Best Buy, or Value Mart, and some like to go to this Chinese supermarket. The $500 social assistance for PAP, my straight dog family. We can't forget that. The $500 assistance from the Poverty Alleviation Program circulated within the economy and helped ordinary poor people to see their way, my straight dog family.
It is not EASY. It is not easy. And do not be fooled. Do not let no nice show and no nice thing fool you. The $500 from the PAP, it is so helpful. I wish I could triple it up. It's so helpful. It come in so handy.
Came in so handy for poor people, my straight dog family. But what has he done? He took it away from ordinary people, my straight dog family. But that was the testimony of most back then under team unity. But now, they testify that things are hard under this July Labour administration. Even July's biggest supporters will tell you this, my straight dog family. Even his biggest supporter would tell you this.
Let me tell you all something. And it's a very serious observation. If you had to go back 2 years ago, a little back, when unity was in power, when they had the falling out with Sean and Timothy and they, and you compare the country then to the country now, even though things were mashing up under the unity, things were much better. Things were much better under the unity because people had money in their pockets. And you tell me you're going to fix it. And we're balling?
Yes. So there's no anniversary celebration. 2 years has passed us by quietly, haven't it? So why aren't they celebrating? Because there's nothing to celebrate. We not only had money in our pockets, big lies, there was peace in the land, and everyone felt safe. Look at what's happening now under July. In the courts, we no longer can boast that people are judged by a jury of their peers. But that too has changed under July, as jurors are now being shot, my straight dog family. Jurors are being shot.
At this point, as you mentioned, jurors, I try to ignore the social media and the WhatsApp foolishness that is created by very bad people in our society. But there was something going around about a juror, and the AG ain't said nothing about it. And let me tell you something. A juror was murdered. One of the three persons that was murdered last week was a juror.
Imagine a juror murdered, according to the AG, Garth Lucifer Wilkin. Under this July administration, it appears as though we have become a death valley. Yes, a death valley under the July administration. People are scared. The rule of law has broken down, and as a matter of fact, our chief lawyer himself broke the law. Remember, first he claimed that he's not a politician, but a lawyer? Yes, he made that claim, my straight dog family.
I will never run for political office. I have no interest in running for a seat, right? I enjoy being a lawyer. I want to continue being a lawyer. I am a lawyer right now. I'm working as a lawyer. So I want to keep doing that because that's my passion and my love.
Never want to run for office. Is he electable by straight talk family? Ask yourself that question. But as someone called to the bar in St. Kitts and Nevis, and perhaps elsewhere, my straight talk family, one would expect him to practice law and not to practice vagabondry, or not to practice being a vagabond. I'm probably making up a word there. Not to practice being a vagabond. We must never forget that Garth Lucifer Wilkin hired a nanny, a maid from St. Vincent and the Grenadines, deducted money from her wages, and for 15 long months, he never matched and paid her contribution to the Social Security Board as required by the laws of St. Kitts and Nevis. He was then elected president of the St. Kitts Nevis Bar Association, which gave him every reason to run and pay this outstanding debt. But if you think that was bad, that was not bad, because as president of the Bar Association for months, he continued breaking the law and again refused to pay the money deducted from his nanny's wages and his matching contributions once more to the Social Security Board until the day before he was appointed Attorney General and Minister of Justice and Legal Affairs. Those are the facts, my straight talk family. But if that was not bad enough, after being appointed Attorney General and Minister of Justice and Legal Affairs, months passed by, months elapsed before he paid these mandatory contributions as an employer. So he broke the law once. That wasn't good enough. He broke the law twice. And he broke the law a third time. He broke the law thrice, my straight talk family. However, whereas other delinquent employers were dragged before the court, this blue-eyed boy was definitely considered above the law. Worse yet, he even Mama Guy, a resident judge, to get an ex-parte injunction in order to stifle one of my fundamental rights guaranteed by the Constitution, to wit, my right to freedom of expression. But justice, my straight dog family, prevailed. And Attorney General Garth Lucifer Wilkins' injunction failed. Then he hurried quickly to file a notice of discontinuance. Yes, ran to the court and filed this notice of discontinuance. So embarrassed was he. My straight dog family, Garth Lucifer Wilkin was granted what many may call executive privilege. But is there such a thing in law? Of course not. As someone told me that, but I couldn't disagree more. Because as Garth Lucifer Wilkin appointed Greatest Garden to act as DPP in place of Valston Graham, whose contract had ended, she too filed or issued a notice of discontinuance in Nevis on a case where a man was caught red-handed with a gun and ammunition, my straight dog family. That happened in Nevis. But lo and behold, and much to the shock and dismay of many Nevisians, as if the actions of Garth Lucifer Wilkin was contagious, Greatest Garden served a notice of discontinuance on her worship Yasmin Clark in a slam-dunk case in which the Royal St. Christopher and Nevis Police Force seized, arrested, and charged this individual for the possession of guns and ammunition. What did the snake Mark Granty know about this case, if anything? What did the Attorney General Garth Lucifer Wilkin know about this case, if anything? What did the Crime Minister know about this case, if anything? What did the members of the NIA cabinet know about this case, if anything? What did the members of the federal cabinet know about this case, if anything? Because that man is very close to the snake. It is against this backdrop, my straight dog family, I demand that the Crime Minister and his cabinet, along with the 3 blind men from across the Narrows, who currently sit on the opposition benches in the federal parliament. Against this backdrop, we must demand that they all admit that they have the blood of innocent 9-year-old Jemani Smitten on their hands. We also demand that the peace program should be reintroduced with immediate effect. Why are we trying to battle with the truth, my straight dog family? The truth is, 5 years before the peace program was introduced, murders peaked at 36 under the second Prime Minister and leader of the Labour Party. 5 years after the peace program was introduced under the third Prime Minister, and there was a trough of 2 murders, not a peak, a trough under Team Unity. 2 years after dismantling the peace program, murders have more than peaked and instead have skyrocketed to 63 murders under our fourth Prime Minister, Terence Michael July. So how can we argue with this truth? I don't understand. Talking about health, public health issue. And you know, when I reflect on what has brought us back to this dilemma with crime, it was this baseless argument about fair share and about the prison project. And no one argues that there isn't a need for a new prison. But that too, I will deal with in a subsequent program. After all, Her Majesty's prison was built in 1840, over a century ago, almost 2 centuries ago. But my straight dog family, that too we will address. But the recent spate of murders in St. Kitts and Nevis, including the tragic deaths of a woman and a 9-year-old boy, has understandably led to widespread concern and frustration among citizens. The fact that there have been 7 murders in just 2 weeks is alarming and has raised serious questions about public safety and the government's response. Many residents are expressing their discontent, particularly given that Prime Minister Terence July is now on leave and has not yet addressed the situation publicly. This perceived lack of communication and action from the leadership during this critical time is heightening, is exacerbating the public's anxiety and disillusionment, my straight dog family. Furthermore, there is significant criticism aimed at the current administration for dismantling the peace program that was in place and was credited with maintaining safety in the country. That cannot be disputed. The peace program, under the peace or with the existence of the peace program, people were safe. But this abrupt cessation, this abrupt stop of this program, or stopping of this program, is viewed by many as a contributing factor to the recent surge in violence. The community's sentiment that the blood of these victims is on the hands of the Duke cabinet and those 3 from across the Narrows reflects a deep sense of betrayal and urgency for effective governance and immediate action to restore peace and security. In light of these events, my straight dog family, it is crucial for the government to communicate. The Prime Minister and other key officials need to address the nation, acknowledge the crisis, and offer a clear plan of action to tackle the violence. The government should re-evaluate the effectiveness of the current security policies. Remember, my Straight Dog family, when we had this amnesty, for example. Do you remember this? This is in 2019, I think it was, 2019.
Young personnel and what's not. I don't want to say disadvantage of something. Yes. Then we got another Beretta pistol, which is like a collector's item for most people because of the weight that it carries. I wouldn't really want to move around much with it. But for the caliber, military persons will grasp towards it because of the caliber.
And what happened, my Straight Dog family? What happened earlier this year with a similar amnesty? What happened?
The gun amnesty has officially ended effective May 25th, 2024. Regrettably, many of you have missed an excellent opportunity to turn in your illegal firearms without facing any legal consequence or fear of prosecution. Well, your bargaining power is over. There is no further avenue for negotiation in this regard. Your blatant refusal to comply with this initiative has clearly shown your unwillingness to end or curb gun violence. As such, be equally prepared to face and accept whatever may come your way. We are aware that the guns are out there. Your refusal has not only motivated us to intensify our efforts, but to remain vigilant and steadfast in our pursuit to seize all illegal firearms and to apprehend offenders. As Commissioner of Police, I am issuing a stern warning, calling it a threat if you may, that anyone found in possession of illegal firearms and ammunition will be dealt with very severely, that is, to the fullest extent of the law. There is no room for compromise.
Imagine, my Straight Dog family, not one gun, no ammunition collected. It is time we reconsider or consider reinstating or reforming the peace program that previously contributed to the nation's safety. We can't dispute that, my Straight Dog family. Establish a dialogue with citizens and local organizations, and that will help in understanding their concerns and collaboratively finding solutions to enhance public safety. My Straight Dog family, boosting the presence and capacity of law enforcement agencies to respond to and prevent further criminal activities, my Straight Dog family, or else the blood of this 9-year-old boy, Jamani Smitten, will remain on somebody's hands. That's my story tonight, my Straight Dog family, and I am not going to change it. I will open the lines nonetheless and entertain your calls and your emails. And before I do, as I normally implore you, I'll do the same tonight. I would implore you to respect others. And of course, to achieve that, you must first of all respect yourselves. Let us try to be fair to all concerned, and let us try to build goodwill and better friendships. Let us, my Straight Dog family, in saying and doing anything, ensure that it is beneficial as well to all concerned. And in the process of saying and doing those things, let us strive to build a kinder, gentler St. Kitts and Nevis. With that said, at 9:11, I go to the lines and say, caller, good night, you're live. Hello, caller.
Good night. Good night, Patrick.
Good night, sir.
I must say, the program and timely program.
Thank you.
The crime in federation, I think that under the unity government, we had a good plan. It's empirical that everyone can see that it's working. And I think the administration will have a clue to solve it, because I assume that everyone who was working in the previous administration, they fired them and they employed new people there. And I think that both parties should have a meeting and to work a plan to try to work on this crime plan. All the parties need to come together and work on a plan to eliminate this crime that's going on in our federation. Put country above self. It's a beautiful federation, and one more though, it's too much.
Too many.
Yeah, too many. And another observation to I think that the Unity Party should come back together and try to work with something and start campaigning for the next election in 2027. Yeah. That Unity and the time and they will come together and start to campaigning, because it's empirical for us to see that the present government right now, they have another internal issue. Everybody wants to be prime minister, and nothing good is done. Nothing that Unity Party should get it up together and form a coalition and start to campaign on the street and march and start preparing. We have like 3 more years, to do that and show the people then that who cares, who cares, because this came in 2 years and the salary increases. They increase the salary, right? I can't. Can you say how much percent that the government workers, the ministers, percent?
That's a question. I didn't quite understand it.
Yeah, they have an increase, right? The ministers have an increase, yeah.
Yes, sir.
Right?
Yes, they did.
Yes, and I knew for a fact that I have people, right, that labor people used to have stipend from the government, right? They have, and they take away that from their own people. The own people. I know a friend of mine used to we have back and forth debate and high labor and they take away this woman money she having, right, when they win. I just vote for them and she was advocating for the party. And I was kind of I was astonished and I was kind of weak.
Okay.
But they not care about the poor people. Right? And I think the opposition should start to get it up together and start to campaign, right?
Okay.
Campaign and work in this country.
Okay.
Better.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you very much for accommodating me. Thank you.
Thanks very much for your intervention. Very sound one as well, and advancing some very interesting ideas, and of course promoting alliances. And yes, under Team Unity, it was better. No one can dispute that. And I always promote reconciliation, but I always as well promote truth and reconciliation. But as young men growing up, we've always said big people don't fall out. So nothing is too much to find a solution for. Caller, thank you for holding your life. Hello, caller.
Good evening, Mr. Liburd.
Good evening.
The quote for this evening: "The pain of losing a child is indescribable. It's a wound that will never fully heal." I repeat, the pain of losing a child is indescribable. It's a wound that will never fully heal. Have a great evening.
Thank you very much. It's a wound that would never, ever heal. Never, ever heal. Thanks a lot for your quotations. This lady, I think she told me she's from across the Narrows and provides quotations and gives us a lot to think about and helps to guide us as well. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller.
It's a pleasure. Good evening to you. How are you doing tonight?
I am peaceful, my dear, and I'm even much better now. I've seen those dimples. How are you doing?
I'm excellent.
Excellent, yes.
Yes.
You're not going on leave? You're not going on leave as well?
No, I can't go on leave yet. Remember, you said the police could never go on no leave, but you gone. But it was a call you said. Point out for me, please. I listened and news item today. And I heard that Singlaya gets honor in Pennsylvania for medication and politics. So I will let you find out. And they say health too. I will let you know. If Pennsylvania people them crazy to honor a man who ain't do no kind of work yet, but get honor, you gonna tell me medication? What kind of medication that? What kind of medication that he get honor for? And this health, which one the health, nothing think it. Politics, which one the politics, because none of them three days he gonna go do yet. So what happened to Pennsylvania? Why are them honoring him? Simmons was a doctor and he was a politician. Nobody honor him. Douglas was a doctor and a politician and nobody honor them. So what happened to this crazy joker you come and talk about the honor he for them things? First I must say, health is not anything. Because if you go downtown, all the good toilets there bar up and have portable ones all around town. So that cannot be helped. I remember when Eugene Hamilton bring out those bins that you can lock in your garbage then and keep the fly them out of people's face. He get on the radio and he said, they gone out there go bring bin what they don't have no use for as yet. That's health. Medication. There are no medication in the place. So what are he honored for? Are those people that do politics? I don't see him doing no politics because since he gone in there, is all he bridge, he talking, no current affairs. I really want to know which party he went to be a doctor because he ain't talking nothing that a doctor should talk. So I really like to know if Pennsylvania then honor him because they too is getting the pep money from thinking. So that's why they honor him. I would like to know that part. Until I will return if I get back in again.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for your contribution. I remember coming across something relating to some award that the Prime Minister received. I said Pennsylvania. I am not doubting you, yes, but I couldn't remember exactly what it was. But the things you said are so accurate, my straight talk family, so accurate. This email reads, "Good night, Patches. Hope all is well. Yes, I'm peaceful. On your last program, Culture was saying Timothy Harris need to take Labour out of his party's name. I don't agree. Timothy Harris was the best thing for the Labour Party back then. He didn't agree with some of the things that were done, so he crossed the floor and was fired. We all have good Labour, and Timothy Harris is living proof to that. I know we are all upset as to what is happening in the country, but God is not sleeping, and He don't give us more than what we could bear. Things will work out to our good." Reads this email. This other email reads, and I have quite a few emails, so if you bear with me, I'll try and get some out. Let us all not be fooled, reads this email, and misled by the political propagandist and political prostitute advisor with his feeble, unconvincing, and flimsy excuse for the Prime Minister's hasty exit from the job. In this perilous crime situation in the Federation, under the disguise of vacation leave, is far-fetched. It is palpable and quite obvious that the Prime Minister has roundly failed as the National Security Minister, has abandoned the pressure on him to find a solution for the scourge of criminal activity in the country, has reached its zenith, and he has no satisfactory answer or solution. Therefore, the easiest way out of this debacle for him is to make a quick getaway. But the perennial problem of crimes still remains. Let's go back to the lines, caller. You're live. Hello, caller.
Hi, Patrice. I agree with you that Dr. Timothy Harris was one of the best feminists in my time. I think I'm be corrected in that, in my opinion. I want you to fact check, right? My statement. I think on the Labour Manifesto, right? I never hear any opposition leader tackle this issue. I think they were saying duty free for young people, vehicles. I don't know if that is they exclude that part, and they were saying that the light current, right? That they will forgive the people them and give them a fresh start. I would like to fact check that, and I start to be corrected. That the point, and I want to hear your view on that.
Okay.
So thank you. I'm listening out here.
Thank you. Thank you, my dear brother. I'll try and fact check it if it's all possible. Back to the email as well. I juggle with the calls. I love the way Dr. Harris has the Jumbie Crab government going. Harris is so important to them and Dwyer that every time they have a press conference, roundtable discussion, and in the case of Dwyer's weekly commentary, Harris has to be the focal point of their conversation. Harris is so important and consequential to them that he has them going mad. Harris was so great that he had a one-man government and cabinet for 7 years, making and passing laws all by himself in the Federation. And there was absolutely no objections by their jumbie crabs. But now that he is no longer in government, these reads that email. These puppy shows cannot forget him, and they are so stupid that they do not realize what they are saying about Harris has no impact on the people as he continued to perform exceedingly well and gaining more and more supporters. They are crazy. Reads this email. Caller, I want to thank you for holding. You are live.
Yeah, okay. Good evening, Patches, and everyone who listens to your program.
Good evening, my dear brother, Culture.
Yes.
How art thou?
Oh, well, I'm great, man. Once I could hear you, I feel great, great.
I'm happy.
Well, the Dimples, boy. Dimples let go a lot of punch tonight.
Yes.
Well, Maisie, thank you. Good night. And good night, LG. Patches, I always hear my good Rasta friend, Eli X, use the word the polite violence. And 2 years now, just gone this week here, since this Mickey Mouse, Sesame Street, vagabonds down Church Street running this country here. And from the moment they go on in there, the first thing happened bad underneath them. When they had the motorcade, the victory motorcade, a young girl fall off a motorcycle, dead. That was the first dead underneath them. Ignorantly fall off the motorcycle. And from the moment they're in there, it's pure lies they've been telling. No, so they ain't gonna stop. I do not know what Dr. Timothy Sylvester Harris has done them. Dr. Harris is the best thing this country ever have to lead it. Take us out of the IMF yard. Clean up that. We were known to be the murder capital of the world per capita. Dr. Harris with Colonel Sanders from Jamaica and other people here who are interested in the country. They will leave that. They bring down that criminal activity that is going on here in this country, bring it down to nothing. And then this joker come in here, mash up everything, mash it up. Well, I want to tell he that. He think, well, then that is only people who shoot and shed blood with all kind of weapon are criminals. No, they got economical criminal. Because what they are doing, they are raping the treasury. And any man rape any woman, that's a criminal act. And they, because they are raping the treasury, have no respect for taxpayers' money, have no respect for the voters of the country, no respect. They don't care what anybody say about them. They're doing what they want to do. That is the reason why you run out of this country. You can tell me, the captain of the ship sinking now. The water is up to the oar level. Right up where the oar go to the two sticks. And everybody now bailing the water of the ship so that he can refloat. And he gonna jump out of the ship and go on another ship. But he gone on vacation leave. I mean important leave. Where is his love and concern for this country? Even though he get advice, if you know you are involved in someone murder, borrow some money, buy an airline ticket and leave the island. That's an advice. That is the reason why this load of killing going on. Because if who at the head ain't showing example, ain't leading from example, what they expect gonna happen? Labor is to mash up this country. They are the ones who got this country. Everybody suffering, balling. Dr. Harris and the Team Unity, he gave the $500 and whatsoever he gave to make sure that people are living. Look how Dr. Harris pulled the country through the COVID. People from all big countries around the world are asking how he get that dough. How that leader of that country, Dr. Harris, get that dough. And Labour come and mash up everything. I do not like the word Labour. Labour is destruction to think it. Every time Labour government in, a load of debt. Load of innocent debt going on. That is the reason why I said I do not like Labour. And I think Dr. Harris should take it out because a lot of people running from the party because they don't like the word Labour because what Labour have done to people. Patches, I'll come back. Thank you. Let somebody else come in.
Thank you for your intervention. Our Prime Minister is not a good liar, reads this email. He lies so much that it is easily detected on his face and in his utterances. He cannot even tell a good, convincing story. I don't know why he continues to propel the falsehood and blatant lies that many investors came to him as soon as he became Prime Minister and said to him, Dr. Drew, we wanted to invest in the Federation long time ago, you know. And when he asked them why they didn't do it before, they said, well, we did not trust the Team Unity government, for we had no confidence in them. And that is why we waited so long for you to get into government. So where are these several investors today? Dr. July, boy, Dr. you lie. That is a concocted lying story you made up. No investors had the kind of conversation with you, and the false claim as boomerang and backfired in your face, much to your embarrassment and shame. For not one sensible, rational, and prudent person believed that nonsensical lying story you have created. You are a pathological and confounded liar. That is what you are. So where are these several investors? Dr. Ju reads this email. And let's go back to the lines. I forgot this caller on the line. Caller, I hope you're still there. Caller, you're live. Are they caller?
Yeah, Mr. Liburd, man. How you doing? Mr. Liburd, how you doing tonight, man?
I'm peaceful. I'm awfully sorry about that. And yes, we'll try to find a time when you come across from the Narrows, as you intimated earlier.
I'm gonna be coming across the Narrows tomorrow. I'm gonna be in Sinkers tomorrow. I'm supposed to make an appearance on Win FM.
Okay.
In the early morning, and hopefully on the 11 a.m. with Socrates as well.
Okay.
But since I came, go ahead.
No, you go ahead. I'm sorry about that.
Since I came into the Federation, July 27th. I've noticed there's been a spike in the crime, and me personally, I'm very concerned. And I've been trying to indicate to the people, the crime is going to keep rising, it's going to keep escalating, and the reason for that, we are not creating any jobs for the youngsters. There's no investment being made in the country since these guys took office 2 years ago. All these investors that was presumably hanging out, in the roadstead to come ashore, we haven't seen those guys at all yet. I don't know which boats they was hanging out in the roadstead in, but I came down to Sinkers last week Thursday. There was not one cruise ship in the harbor, and I'm observing very closely, man. I'm a person that's very interested in the political scene here, but like I say, I want these politicians to get in the parliament and put that Brian clause back or remove it so every citizen can have the full rights of a citizen. I cannot be a natural born citizen and I migrated out the country and I can't come back and run for politics in my own place of birth. And that's something I want all the voters in the diaspora to start paying attention to. We cannot just be coming home to vote. We cannot just be needed to be voters. We also got to be needed to make a contribution politically if we want to put our names on the ballots. You know, a lot of people migrated for whatever personal reasons and whatever, like, you know what I mean? And a natural born citizen have to have full rights like every other citizen. Once you're a citizen, you are a citizen. There should be no barriers around anyone who's called a citizen, whether they want to run for politics or not. That should be their right by the Constitution of St. Nevis. Whether you gain citizenship here through the CBI program or through marriage, or you was born here, a citizen is a citizen. There should be no requirements, no parameters around anybody who's called a citizen. They should have the full rights. I cannot be a natural born citizen and have partial rights. I don't care if I have 100 passports from other countries around the world. I was born in this country. My navel string was buried here, right in Cotton Young Village. I'm an original Cotton Young man. I'm not a Cotton Young man who was born uptown in Alexander Hospital. And if I have to get this stuff changed, man. It's not going to be changed for me. I might not be the beneficiary of this, but the people who's outside in New York, who's in Toronto, Canada, who's in Washington, D.C., and who's in Miami, Florida, they have to start paying attention to what I'm saying. We cannot just be called back to St. Kitts and Nevis to vote in a government like the locals here. They was really getting upset when they say we come home and we put in a government and we gone in 2 days. Just as well that I can come home and vote for another man. I should have my full rights as a natural born citizen to run for politics here.
Okay, man.
Nobody should be blocking anyone in my situation. But anyway, I'm on the ground and I'm observing and watching what's going on. A lot of complaints. The money is not hitting the common man. And anything concerning money in this federation is only the politicians, the lawyers, and agents of the CBI program. Those are the only persons who are making that money. The money is being rolled back by this government. They promised to triple that $500 that they was giving the poor people. They promised to triple it. Now they came in. They have taken all those poor people off the PAPs and the PEPs and those social programs. You know, they're rolling back everything concerning money. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, my brother.
The dividend that they promised to pay out 2 dividends in this year, they have stopped that.
Okay.
You know, they gave the people a lousy $70 increase. That $70 is absorbed by one shopping bag coming out of Rams.
Okay.
And then next year, when it's promised to put that other $70 of the minimum wage increase, I'm going to tell the people of St. Kitts and Nevis that's already in jeopardy. Okay. It's already in jeopardy. If we see that they didn't give the dividends and they're crying that no money is there, what you think going to happen when next year get here?
Okay, my
but I'm going to sit aside and watch and see if the people of St. Kitts and Nevis are going to let this government do them that.
Okay.
And Big Life Swatley, I hope this man can put this on. I saw him in the street in Nevis Juve morning day, and I'm very happy that I met him and the other guy, Rascal Landry. Okay. You know, I'll be making an appearance tomorrow, and I hope I can get down to St. Kitts tomorrow so I can introduce myself to the Federation.
Okay.
And thanks to the people who has been hearing my voice.
Okay,
and you guys have a good night, man. Thanks a lot.
Have a good night as well. Let's go back to the lines. Caller, you are live. Good night.
As well, I can come home and vote for another man.
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah, I'll turn off your equipment or move away from it.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm sorry, but yes, I want the whole world to hear you.
Anyway, good night. How are you doing?
I am peaceful. Yourself? I've heard.
I'm good. I'm good.
All is well?
I know. I'm good. Yeah, all is well. I'm good. We have a little rain here for the whole day and what's not.
Okay.
Yeah, what I'm saying that you take leave of absence because he know that this week is the second anniversary, and he know they're going to be questioning about what have you done for the 2 years of anniversary. That's why he leave and gone and leave. He leave Mr. Rogers over the country. All Mr. Rogers do is to look over the fence and see the children and play. That's what. Because you see, it shouldn't surprise nobody when he leave. Because the other day God said that they could sleep good. They can sleep good. They sleep well at night.
Good at night, yes.
So that's what telling you. So he could leave anytime because they sleep good at night.
Yeah.
You understand? But what I'm saying is that the killing is terrible because a little child, whatever the adult who have a problem with the other adult, I mean, he's with a child. You can't say, okay, next time I'm going to get you because I have a child. The child had to go to that. But people, you all must understand that the Bible said, heaven and earth shall pass away, but not one jot of my word shall pass. He that live by this word shall die by it. You kill somebody gonna turn on and kill you. The Bible said, people be careful. Be careful when you do all these things, you're giving up your freedom. And then when they turn on, they say they're mentally sick. You know why they're mentally sick? Because they give up their freedom and they're hiding. And as soon as if a door slam, they jump. A wind blow, they jump. So that's why they're going to be mentally ill. They're going to get sick after a while. Because of that, because they're not free anymore. Yep. So people, please, children, the Bible says, suffer little children to come unto me and forbid them not.
Forbid them not, yeah.
That thing that bothered me, man, the child. You couldn't say, let me wait up next time? Next time couldn't come? Anyway, that's all I have to say. You take care of yourself.
Thank you. Take care of yourself. I can hear you as the quotation was advanced tonight, that the pain of losing a child is indescribable. It is a wound that never heals. If someone is trying to get into the program, the numbers are in fact 646-829-6672 or 663-6672. But yes, I can hear you. I can hear you, my dear. That, and as the quotation was advanced tonight, the pain of losing a child is indescribable. Is a wound that never heals, and that is the issue. And because of the bad policies of this administration, that's why my friend said to me that blood is on their hands. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller.
Good evening, is me again.
Yes, my dear.
But I sorry about Con Edward. But I thought when Con Edward did listen, they would have get on top of it the next day. Put it over the radio that people could hear and understand, instead of wait so late to go and check and cut. All what I was hearing coming on top the radio is some obvious man over Frigid says. That's what was announced on top the radio. I get so wrecked. I said that they have no call on top the radio. If the obvious man wanted things to go on top the thing, he get a speaker and send it round the island and keep that off the radio. All them time there, cans should have been advertising that people could have done gone over for cans. Instead of now, I pray to God that when they do find him, he is alive and not dead. You hear them say, a king has no honor in his own country. I bet if somebody else overseas or whatnot, they would have done set up and go and go look for him. I'm sorry to hear. And that 9-year-old little boy, I beg his mother, go and touch his knees, night and day. And if she needs them really, sit up and pray to the Almighty that whoever killed his son, they find him. Don't stop praying. Don't stop praying. Pray that they could find who killed your son, because when I think about that little boy, it just come to me like he's one of my grandson. Father Jesus, let the mother go on top she knees and pray and ask God to deliver the killer of his son, and don't stop praying until she gets vengeance. At least you have a pleasant night.
Have a pleasant night as well, my dear, and you are so correct. The recent spate of murders in St. Kitts Nevis, including the tragic deaths of a woman and a 9-year-old boy, Jamani Smith of Nevis. May soul rest in peace, and we extend condolences to the family. But it has understandably led to widespread concern and frustration among citizens. And the fact that there have been 7 murders in just 2 weeks is alarming and has raised serious questions about public safety and government response. And we see government response. The Prime Minister has taken 2 weeks leave of absence, personal leave he calls it. Then we see something, I saw it on Facebook, I didn't want to speak about it because I don't recall, I just glanced at it, I didn't really read it. He's getting some awards someplace and he also elated about that. What about solutions to our problems? There are problems. Prime Minister Joe, there are problems. What are the solutions? Give the country solutions. That's what the country is asking for. Solutions to our problems, not the politics and the politicking that you continue to project, my straight dog family.
I want to ask Julie something. So people are there thinking before the peace program. How much used to dead a year before the peace program and the labor? Why do you come like you got guns? How much people used to dead a sink kids before the peace program a year? The peace program come and the peace program lessen it. I come back here now and the same bullshit start again. People start to drop like flies by blaming the peace program. I don't tell you, real killers not join the peace program. I need to teach July some sense.
And yes, that's the word of the views of many people. According to him, a dunce. Let's go back to the lines and thank this caller for holding. Caller, you are live. It's 10 before the 10 o'clock hour. Hello, caller.
Yes, good night, Brother Patches.
Good night, sir.
Good night, all listeners. I beg to move that I may have the Federation of St. Kitts and those who are abroad attention. Now, as we read and continue to listen the record of St. Kitts and Nevis murder rate, disappointment, deprivation, and deprivation comes with what was being given, what they had, and now lost. And if I focus my attention to the Prime Minister, all the advisors that you have heard making suggestions helping you to make the country better. Are you listening? Because you learn by critique. And if you learn by critique, you will do better. But if you don't learn by critique, that means you become a prima donna, move to dictator, and what else moving forward? Now, I will say to the people of St. Kitts, you all have to stand up for your rights. You all have to stand up for what is good for the country. We all have the same common interests. We need food to eat. We need a roof over our head. We need lands because you are born citizens of the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. The other thing is, what is the fear of exercising your right in the political system? You know, a lot of people I've spoken to from St. Kitts and Nevis, they're not interested in politics. They don't have nothing to do with the politics. If you don't take interest, how are you going to make a better living for you and your family? How? You are going to let these kleptocrats, you are going to let these dictators who are going to dictate over your life and you don't have a say? Rise up. I am surprised that there is not one man who can say, look, I am participating in this next general election yet to come. Are you going to let these recycled people continue the same old, same old? Are you going to eat the same food every day? You got to make a change.
Okay.
Stand up, get out, revolutionize this country.
Okay.
Winston Welcome is the only one who make a bid for some kind of office in this next election yet to come, should God allow me. No one else, and I'm not on the soil. What would it take for people home to do these things? Fear. The greatest fear is fear to yourself, not anyone. Stand up and exercise your right.
Okay.
Thank you for this little time, Patches, but I'll try again if I get a chance.
Thank you. Thank you for your.
Glad you're on the ground, and I am glad you're observing. Make sure you come with a good report. Thank you.
Thank you for your passionate intervention. Mr. Minister Ambassador reads this email. What will become of this federation's leadership? I never ever believed by a figment of imagination that this country would be plunged into the hands of a sneaky, dishonest, and slow student to lead. Lord help us. The 6 renegades who Harris fired for their disloyalty has given Jew and his administration a scourge to whip us severely. But fortunately, only 3 of them are receiving and feeling the blows. The other 3 are enjoying themselves in their culturama. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller.
Hi, Patrice, me again. Hello?
Yes, you're live.
Hello?
Yes, my dear, we're hearing you.
The caller that talking about the clause, the Brian clause. It's 2 clauses they has. They has Brian clause. Brian clause is not concerning him because he says a Nevis, he born in Nevis. Is that you can behold a 2 passport and run as a minister in St. Kitts. I mean, for the Federation. You can be carrying 2 passport and running for minister for the Federation. As Mr. Bratcher used to say, that if you want to vote, you have to live in the country for at least 6 months before you could vote. So that passport, the 2 holder passport, that the clause that they say that the 2 passport you can run, it's not gonna move nowhere. It's not
dual citizenship, they call it there.
Yeah, but it's 2 passport. You cannot be holding 2 passport and run. That's what happened to Mr. Douglas. When Douglas had to come out of the thing. And it's Douglas who passed that law. So he's gonna stay right there. So too bad. Okay, Patrice.
Okay, thanks for your intervention. Let's go back to the lines and thank this caller for holding. Caller, you alive.
Yes, Patrice.
So
the lady is so correct. Labour Douglas leader, he made Sean and Lindsay give back the US citizenship passport So the lady is right. Now, Patches, look at how bad this Labour government is. When Sam Kanda was the Deputy Prime Minister under Dr. Douglas, Sam tried to go up ZZ, the national radio station, to speak on it, and he was denied access under his boss, the same Labour leader. He had to go up on Win FM. When they had the election in August, the Friday, the Monday night your program was supposed to be on. And when the introduction music started to play, the moderator said, oh my boy, I did something that I wasn't supposed to do. And that was the end of you up there, Patches. You remember that?
Of course I do. Of course I do.
Okay. Now, what they're doing now in this country, the national radio station advertising this Obia man over Frigate Bay, advertising them nonsense on the radio station, and educated program cannot be on it. And they're advertising that on the national radio station. So what tell you who lead in this country? It's Taliban, Freemason people lead in this country. That is why so much blood are being shed every week. Every week, no concern for the lives that gone violently. No sympathy to the parents them. And no condolence with the parents them. Check up yourself and gone out of the country, you don't care. All hands on deck is supposed to be here. So therefore, people, we have to pray to God. God is who got this country trying to keep it the way it's supposed to be. But God going to round up all of them who creating this lot of more than blood in the country. Let me get somebody's get in. Because too many things to say tonight, and I want other people share the point.
Okay.
Too much blood. Thank you, Patches. Let us get rid of this opium man over Frigate Bay.
Okay, thanks for your intervention, your understanding. We go back to the lines, caller. You're live. Hello, caller.
Good night, Patches. Good night. Good night.
Good night, my brother. How art thou?
Yeah, man. How are you doing? I'm doing well, man. But something on my mind that I need to make a little broad thing to our fan club fans, them. You know, I've been seeing them asking you to do like investigation, check this and check that for them, but I know you're not gonna ask for a little donation, but I'm asking them, let's chip in a little $5. We have over 800 callers, who listening. I mean, like, so much things. If you wasn't around to give us this information, and even though I'm abroad, I look forward every Monday and Thursday night for this information. And I know my conscience bothering me to see the kind of work you're doing. Hear the kind of thing people asking you to do, investigation, check this for them, but I guess they don't really know this come with a cause. They want to hear about press conference, but when the man got to go to press conference, it's like you got to, friends, the marriage is not free. Now, freedom run like fax station. They're not going to run it for free. You got to pay freedom the money, and all these things is money. And I wish people come to reality that if you wasn't in the play, in the circle, I don't know what we would have done. And I really don't want to see this thing done. And I believe we are give a little donation to help you push this thing. We could get a lot more information than what you're doing on your own. I know you're a man of pride. You're not going to ask for it, but I'm asking the fan club, please, let's just get together and let's give this man a little donation. He deserves it. He more than deserves this, man. I'm asking you guys, please. I'm going to be the first lady, okay? Have a blessed night. Thank you.
Thank you, my brother. I'm humbled, my brother. Thanks for your understanding and for your actual contribution. I'm a single mother of 4 young children and working for minimum wage, reads this email. Last year, I was kicked off the PAP program without notice. And when I reapplied for the LIFT program, I was asked 1,000,001 questions, which I answered. Lo and behold, they denied me, stating that I doesn't pay house rent as I share the house with other family members, even though my last child is autistic and registered with the Autism Center. My autistic child goes to a preschool because of her special needs, and I got a discount from the school as the government pays the little subvention. Patches, today the school called me to tell me that the Ministry of Education will no longer be paying this subvention and I will have to pay the full amount for my autistic child. Patches, this is a clear case of continued victimization against the poor and needy in this country. If the government is broke, they need to say it and stop hiding behind denying the most vulnerable in society to help the need and accustomed to under the team unity government. Is this a case of July dismantling the school subvention too that Denzel Douglas started and team unity continued and improved upon? I also learned that it is numerous parents that did this too. What can I do, Patches? That's a good question. Yes, I will make a note of this email and find out why they would do something like that. Patches, people not keeping their eyes on the nefarious government, you know, and the wicked and undemocratic things they are planning to do. Remember when the Attorney General was in opposition, he used to say that the team unity government does control our courts. But now he's in government, he wants to control our courts. Now, at the last sitting of the Assembly, they had the first reading of a bill called Trial by a Single Judge Only, thereby removing the jury system. What they are planning, Patches, in order to please some of their supporters who have been calling for the jailing of team unity government ministers. This single trial judge Act is the first part of a Kangaroo court they will be setting up for Harris and others. Now, when this is done, they will choose a friendly, corrupt judge of theirs and one that is inimical to Harris and his associates and put them on trial without any tangible evidence, and that corrupt judge will find them guilty and sentence them to prison to the satisfaction of government and supporters. Patches, I don't know if you remember back in the 80s when they had a prominent opposition member on trial down at the police training school. And at the end of the case, the judge went down government headquarters and was making big noise for his check for the job he did. The Labour spokesman newspaper referenced that debacle in its Is It True column. Don't take your eyes off these vagabonds in the government, reads this email. This other email reads, Dear Patches, I write with profound sorrow and outrage to draw attention to a tragedy that has cast a dark shadow over our community. Last week, 9-year-old Jemani Smithson of Craddock Road, Nevis, was discovered lying face down in a pool of his own blood, his young life violently ended by a gaping gunshot wound to the head. How does one even begin to comprehend the horror of such a barbaric act? This is the second time this year that a minor has been brutally murdered. Yet where is the outcry from those who should be the first to speak? Premier Mark Brantley and Dr. Terence Drew, men who parade their authority with arrogance, have remained disturbingly mute in the face of this unspeakable horror. What kind of leaders remain silent while the innocent blood of a child stains our streets? Their indifference is nothing short of contemptible. How can they sleep at night, knowing that they have offered not a word of solace, not a shred of empathy for a child whose life was savagely taken under their watch? Well, Garth, while on Freedom FM, said that he could sleep well at nights. How can we, as a society, reconcile such heartlessness from those who are supposed to be our protectors? How do we explain to the grieving family, beg your pardon, of Jemani, that the very leaders entrusted with their safety have turned a blind eye to their pain? Brantley and Drew's failure to address the violent slaughter of a 9-year-old boy is more than just a dereliction of duty. It is a moral failure that lays bare their utter disregard for the very people they claim to serve. The silence is a disgrace, a stain on their leadership, and a betrayal of every child and parent in this nation. How many more children must be sacrificed before they find their voices? We deserve better than leaders who turn a blind eye to the bloodshed in our streets. We deserve leaders who care, who act, who speak out against the senseless violence tearing apart our communities. I implore you to use your platform to express this shameful neglect, to hold these men accountable for their inaction, and to remind them that the lives of our children are not expendable. How many more Jamani Smittens must we lose before our leaders finally take a stand? Reads this email. Good night, Patches. There's a frightening trend now happening in the public service, where some of the labor supporters are allowed to do as they like in the workplace. In fact, some of them are absent from work as they please without even notifying the place where they work. They just walk in and walk out as if they are in their homes. Nothing is being done by those who are responsible for taking action. In fact, these delinquents are being propped up. However, if a worker is perceived to be a supporter of another political party, no matter what is the position of that person, leadership or seniorship or seniorship role, no support or respect is given to that person. In fact, the other workers are encouraged and supported with their disrespect and insubordination to their superiors by those at a higher level. The rules and regulations that govern the public service are now turned and twisted to suit the whims and fancy of some of the labor supporters, reads this email. Patches, how could July take a personal leave at a time like this when the country going through a crime wave? Is it that Jew is too sick? Or is he running away from his responsibilities of keeping people of the country safe? I understand that the police commissioner has gone on vacation. These people really don't care about the people of this country taking leave and going on vacation at a time like this. Let's go back to the lines at 10:09. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller.
Hello?
Yes, you're live.
Yes, Mr. Liburd.
Yeah, how are you?
Just for the education of the young man from Cotton Ground. When you become a United States citizen, you take an oath to forsake all other citizenship, to include your own country. And all the Constitution say is as long as you have sworn allegiance to a foreign power, you can sit in Parliament. And to become a United citizen, you have to pledge allegiance to the United States. I am a citizen. So I cannot run for office in St. Kitts.
Yep.
My son, who was born in the U.S. Virgin Islands, can easily run because he has not sworn allegiance to a foreign power. Because he was born an American citizen, he did not take an oath. So what that young man have to do, if he so want to run for politics in St. Kitts, let him give up his American citizenship. What's his name? The last member in number 4.
Lindsey Grant and Sean Richards did, yeah.
Yes, they gave up. They went to Barbados and they took an oath. They renounced citizenship, and that allowed them to run.
So, and that is so correct. Patches, I think did I read this one? How could July Yes, I think I read this one just before I took the call. Good night, Patches. The PM is away on vacation. Can you imagine? Police officers had to put their holiday on hold. 60 in 2 years. He blamed the peace program for the surge in gun crimes. Let me remind the Prime Minister, during the Labour administration, remind what? You stop there. Well, that isn't completed. Dance check. Have some people with platform have some dangerous dance and willful reasoning. Some say everybody want to blame government. Well, it's in the definition of the word itself, govern. Some people say you can't blame the security advisor because even if you change the advisor, crime won't stop. If that's the case, then get rid of the post of security advisor because it don't make a difference. And the same can be said for all those overpaid, arrogant ones. People with that kind of half reason need to understand that the advisor should advance ideas, tactics, and strategies which reduce crime, etc. And those elected ones should be working for the people. If those persons are just placeholders to them, then time to get rid of all of them, reads this email. But I think all the government ministers should go on permanent leave. 2 years have passed and nothing to show for it. No improvement in the lives of the citizens, no major investments or projects. This bunch of greedy, heartless, wicked vagabonds have taken the country backwards. They had all the answers when they were in opposition, and now in government they can't get nothing done. What a waste of votes. And this, make this my final email. Good night, Patches. Moses should do the honorable thing and resign. He's a waste, getting government money for nothing. And my Street Talk family, as we wind down tonight's programming, for those who may have joined me late, we looked at the thesis tonight. Let me take this call before I wrap. Caller, you live. Hello, caller.
Yes, Patrice.
My dear.
Patrice, I would like to ask the slow student when he is going to fix the Kayan High School for the children to go back out in September. My sister cannot go on with his children, then have to stay home after they had to homework because a lot of things, if they was in school, they wasn't going to do it. When are the slow student is going to fix the Kayan High School that the children then can get to go back in and give the parents them a little break. All what you do, travel up and down, ending up with them a load of fruits and probably put send them in the park to get a raise and go away or shop. Nothing else they're doing. Please let him go fix Kayan High School for the children then. I think you have a pleasant night. I don't really.
Have a pleasant night as well, and that's the way we're going to end it tonight, my Street Dog family. And our thesis tonight, for those who may have joined me late, we titled Blood of 9-Year-Old Boy on Somebody's Hands. And we spoke of the recent spate of murders in St. Kitts and Nevis, including the tragic deaths of a woman and a 9-year-old boy, Jemani Smitten of Nevis. And understandably, it has led to widespread concern and frustration among citizens. Because our leaders are quiet, not one word. The fact that there have been 7 murders in just 2 weeks is alarming and has raised serious questions about public safety and the government's response. Many residents are expressing their discontent, especially given the fact that Prime Minister Terence Michael July has all of a sudden taken leave and has not yet addressed the situation publicly and or otherwise. The perceived lack of communication and action from the leadership during this critical time is heightening the public's anxiety and disillusionment. My Street Dog family, there is significant criticism aimed at the current administration for dismantling the peace program that was previously in place and credited with maintaining safety in the country. But as we wrap tonight's program in My Straight Dog family, our Prime Minister, as I said, is on leave. But when we reflect on the dilemma in which we find ourselves with crime in particular, and how it all came about, the truth is, my Straight Dog family, 5 years before the peace program was introduced, murders peaked at 36 under the second Prime Minister. 5 years after the peace program was introduced, under the third Prime Minister, Timothy Harris, in 2022, the country thought of going in another direction with another leader who inherited two murders. By the end of that same year, it went to 10. The following year, he had 31 murders. And in this year, thus far, half the year, he's had some 23 murders. Is it 23? I'm losing count as well. 23 murders, my Straight Dog family. And all told, 63 murders under our fourth Prime Minister, July. And he's run away. He took the advice, my friend told me, of his National Security Advisor. You remember the National Security Advisor said this?
If you know that you're involved in the murder of someone, I would encourage you to borrow some money, buy an airline ticket, and leave the island. Because it's going to cause us problems. That's as bluntly as I could say.
Well, he hasn't borrowed any money, my Straight Dog family. But he has left the island. All these murders, my Straight Dog family, many are saying he'll have to come back one day. And just like he left, he will come back with the blood of all these citizens on his hand. My Straight Dog family, when we look at our country, we examine the leadership in our country, my Straight Dog family, and reflect on from whence we came. Kittians and divisions now have a dual life fatigue, which derived from the political victimization, hate, and the division developed from the beginning of his tenure as Prime Minister. This deep division he promoted caused people to get tired of him quickly, my Straight Dog family. But, as I said in the beginning, I'll say in the end, among the 7 murders, my Straight Dog family, is a young 9-year-old boy from Nevis, slaughtered and not one word from the uncaring crime minister and the opposition leader. But unless July is tone deaf and lacking humanity as the current leader of the Labour Party and Prime Minister, who also has responsibility for crime. So he's also the Crime Minister. And as Crime Minister, he must recognize the backlash with respect to murders that have come even from his base, my Straight Dog family. But what we are seeing here in St. Kitts, our country is divided because of the politics of victimization. Even after coming out of a political campaign 2 long years ago, July is still preaching the politics of get rid of them, my Straight Dog family. But it is said that politics is war without bloodshed. And history shows us that there are 2 kinds of wars, the just and the unjust. And from the moment July assumed the role of Prime Minister, he started an unjust war against all he considered supporters of the opposition. He came with a tit-for-tat approach, my Straight Dog family, tit-for-tat. So my Straight Dog family, we are living in fear. As if we have become a death valley. People are scared. The rule of law has broken down. Even our chief lawyer and chief legal advisor, he himself broke the law. But all is not lost, my Straight Dog family. We need to come together as a people. Remember, unity is strength. Let's just band together, and try to get back where we came from, my Straight Dog family. Get back a country where peace and love abounds. We need to communicate. We need to love each other, my Straight Dog family. The sentiment is that the blood of these victims, especially that young Jemani Smitten, is on the hands of the July cabinet, which reflects a deep sense of betrayal and urgency for effective governance and immediate action to restore peace and security. My Straight Dog family, else the blood of this 9-year-old Jemani Smitten will remain on their hands. And I leave you with a quotation. The pain of losing a child is indescribable. It is a wound that never heals. I can testify to that. But that's my story tonight, my Straight Dog family, and I am not going to change it. I would thank Almighty God for guiding our conversation tonight, as always. I want to thank you, the many listeners. I want to thank those who call and those who send emails. But just remember, all of you are the ones who make Straight Talk. There's no Straight Talk without you. So I say thank you. So until we connect on Monday, have yourselves a wonderful weekend, my Straight Dog family. Go to church. Some will go to the beach. Some will do their chores on the weekend. Whatever you do it in moderation. And just remember that whatever your mind conceive, that you will achieve. But first of all, you got to believe. So when you wake in the morning, thank God for the morning light. Thank Him for taking you through the night. And my Straight Dog family, just remember to do unto others as you have them to do unto to you and keep moving on until we connect on Monday for another edition of Straight Talk. Bye-bye, my Straight Talk family.
The morning, I thank God for the morning light. Give Him thanks and praises for taking me safely through the night. For the rest of food and loving care, and for my mother's breath of life that's got me here. So whatever my mind conceives that I will achieve, you better believe, because I do the things I should, be to my brethren kind and good, the best I could. So I'll keep moving on, I won't stop now. I'll keep moving on till I reach the top somehow. Down on my knees to the Lord I kneel and pray, with my heart and soul, beg Him to take me through each day, my guardian to keep and my guide. Over every step I take, He will preside. So whatever my mind conceives that I will achieve, you better believe, because I do the things I should, be to my brethren kind and good, the best I could. So I'll keep moving on, I won't stop now. I'll keep moving on till I reach the top somehow. My way with strength and courage from above. No man I'll fear, since God protects me with His love. Strong, pure and true, and so sincere, 'cause my knees I'll always stay to the Lord in prayer. So whatever my mind conceives that I will achieve, you better believe, because I do the things I should, be to my brethren kind and good, the best I could. So I'll keep moving on, I won't stop now. I'll keep moving on, I gotta reach the top somehow. I'll keep moving on, I won't stop now. I'll keep moving on till I reach the top somehow.